Alright, it is September 28th, 2024. I'm sitting at 0 subscribers. This is the first video of the series. This is the first video of the channel. And this is Create by Fire. This is a channel about making YouTube channels and the growth and experimentation along the way. So in this video I'm going to cover the purpose of this channel in more detail, some information about me, my general plan, steps I've taken so far, and what my next steps will be. So starting with my purpose, I want to be fully transparent with this channel. It's meant to inform and document the process of growing a channel from 0 all the way up to monetization and beyond. The point is to show that anyone can do it, to prove to myself that I can do it, maybe also set an example to my kids, since it is something that they relate to, they have interest in, so that they can do it as well. And lastly, of course, to improve finances. I think everyone who starts a YouTube channel has at least some motivation for finances. So a little bit about myself. My name is Rob. I'm 37 years old. I don't really have any YouTube experience other than using YouTube. I don't use much social media even. I have anxieties and fears and all of that kind of thing, just as anyone else does. I'm a mess. You can see from behind me. It's a mess here. My hair is a mess. My beard is disheveled. And the point of me saying all of that is that I could have cleaned things up. I could have done my hair or something and cleaned up behind me, put up a green screen and all of that. I wanted to show kind of something a little bit more authentic of who I am just naturally, and that I have flaws as well. And the point of all of that is to show that I'm not any better than you. So when I start this channel, I'm just like you, and I want to show you that you can grow to a successful channel, and that's what I plan to do as well. Lastly, I'm into gaming and technology and finances, and I thought, what better way to demonstrate that, than gamifying and strategizing, using technology to make money. So, what's the general plan? Well, I'm going to make 3 types of videos. So, the first type of video would be channel videos. Those will be the ones that have all the transparency, the stats, what's the views, the subscriber counts, how much money was earned, how much money did I spend on various things, what are my thoughts on the successes and failures of various things that I'm trying, and what are my next steps at any given time. And I'm going to be doing a lot of research. So what are the research results that of things that I've been looking up and looking into? Setting goals. I'll be setting a lot of goals on this channel. Whether that be whether that be subscriber counts, or view count, or view watch time kind of thing. All of that would be covered in the channel videos. And also sponsorships and offers when that further down the line, when stuff like that comes up, showing what's coming in and all the details for that. Also cover things that I'm using, like software wise, hardware wise, equipment, that sort of thing. Anything that and everything I start using as well, or what I find and what I like and don't like. Which, by the way, currently don't have any video editing software, so this first video, and maybe even a few of them, are going to be completely raw, unedited, one take kind of videos, which, you know, for better, for worse, mostly for worse, but that's how I'll be doing them for now. So in general, the channel videos are going to be very meta, right? So these are literally videos about the growth and experimentation of making a YouTube channel whose sole purpose, or main purpose I suppose, is to grow and experiment making a YouTube channel, right? So it's, you know, it's very meta. So the second type of video that I plan on making is our, you know, content video. That's going to be the meat of, you know, the experimentation. Those will come from my ideas, they'll come from subscriber ideas. In the beginning, you know, since there won't be any subscribers, they'll have to just come from me. Eventually, you know, start getting some subscriber ideas and start experimenting with those. You know, I'll do this in YouTube short form, I'll do long form content, you know, trialing different things, seeing what works and what doesn't. Successful series will continue, and new trials, though, they'll continue as well, because, you know, the whole point of this channel is to experiment and try new things, so it's always going to be new trials happening. Now, one thing that applies to all of the videos, but especially to the content videos, going to avoid politics and divisive content and any kind of negative content. All of that I don't want to get into. So yeah, that'll be definitely a major point for me. The third type of video that I'll be doing is miscellaneous videos, which by the name is, you know, pretty much anything else, personal, random, non-content, anything of that nature. So I'll be separating the series so that for organization purposes, you know, playlists and that sort of thing, just to keep everything separated, so it's clear where to find everything. I'm going to aim for 1 to 3 videos a week, with at least one of those videos being a content video. That in the beginning, the first few weeks, maybe just they'll all be channel videos, just because I'm getting kind of the research phase, you know, going and all of that, and trying to figure out how I'm going to handle the channel. You know, so I'll improve strategy over time, explore different kinds of content and that sort of thing, and give a lot of updates, frequent updates on the progress of every, you know, in the beginning, actually probably throughout, it'll be kind of updates, very frequent updates on even the view counts and all of that of every video that comes about. But there'll be a lot of kind of research and analysis that goes into this. So steps that I've taken so far. So the first thing I had to do, obviously, was come up with a name. So I went to ChatGPT. I gave it a prompt of, you know, what is this channel, what's the purpose, and all of that. And I kind of described it, and then I asked it to generate 100 names. And, you know, there were some good ones. I got Creators Climb, YouTube by Trial, Viral Ventures. The problem I ran into is that they'd always be taken. Every time I try to make a channel out of it, it'd just be taken. So I kind of, you know, after thinking about it a bit more, you know, I realized, you know, names don't really matter that much, and I didn't want to get hung up on that for too long. I mean, when you think about names like Markiplier and PewDiePie and Mr. Beast, I mean, those are just BS names. They just made up some names, and they didn't think too much of it. They made a channel, it grew very big, and no one thinks about the name Markiplier being Mark and, I don't know, pliers. I don't know what that even is, but people don't really think of that. They just think Markiplier, right? And it just becomes kind of a sound, and that represents that entity, and that's that's all you really need to do. So you shouldn't get hung up and delay yourself from starting your YouTube channel because you can't think of the perfect name. I mean, even if you called your channel GGG, people would just start calling you Triple G, right? They're going to call you what they call you, and it won't matter. So I ended up taking Creators Climb and YouTube by Trial, which sounded like, or reminded me of Trial by Fire. So I kind of combined those in my head of Creators Climb, Trial by Fire, and then that shortened, of course, to Create by Fire. So that's kind of the path that I went. Is that a really good name? Not particularly, but I don't really care because I've made my channel, so I can move forward and I'm not stuck on some phase that is irrelevant. So I've also started, after I came with the name, then I started making some accounts. So I started with Gmail and YouTube to get those rolling, but obviously there's other accounts that might want to get as well. Since I don't really know what I'm going to be going with, I did a lot of them. So I have X, TikTok, Reddit, Twitch, Spotify, Pinterest, Patreon, Etsy, Tumblr, Discord channel, SoundCloud, Rumble, Steam, Teams community, and I also grabbed the domain createbyfire.com. If you don't have money to pick up a domain, don't. Right? It's not a necessity. I just decided to because I can pick it up, and I'm just trying to have that already registered and ready to go for me if I decide to use it. Now, do I need all these accounts that I just made? Probably not, but that's kind of the point is since I'm doing a lot of experimentation, I want to have access to a lot of different kind of accounts. I can do a lot of different trials with various things, so it just opens up the door a little bit for me. I wouldn't necessarily recommend that you do the same. I have done a little bit of research ahead of time, not a whole lot, but I'll be lumping that in with other research in my next video, where I'll try to have kind of a whole channel video dedicated to just the various research of things. So what are my next steps? That would be, first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to buy a new webcam. This one that I'm using now is like 15 years old. It works, but it's 720p, it's an older one. I don't necessarily have to get a new webcam, but I decided, I'm probably going to do that. And, if you don't, once again, if you don't have the money to go buy a webcam or buy a new one, then don't, You can get away with a lot of content that doesn't even use webcams. And even if you do, like say you want to do gaming, you want to put yourself on the side and then have your content. Some people don't put their webcams up for that. That you don't have to do that, especially if you're just starting out and you don't have the money to get a webcam. Don't, So don't let that be an excuse to not start, right? Because that's you'll pile up the excuses if you do that. After getting a webcam, I'm going to go ahead and start doing research on what others have done, the tips and tricks that they used in the beginning to get started, the pitfalls maybe that they ran into and what they would avoid and that kind of thing. And just kind of aggregate all of that information together and put that in my next video. And then lastly, for next steps, I'm going to be doing some brainstorming of initial content video ideas. I have some thoughts. I haven't given it a ton of thought, but I'll be doing some of that as well. Right, so before I go, I kind of want to reiterate this channel is designed to show you what I go through, so that you can see that and know that you can do it too, and that you can have a successful YouTube channel, and it's to give you insight and ideas on how you might handle your channel and how you might learn from the failures that I make, and how you can avoid them, and maybe the successes that I have, and maybe you can adapt some of those ideas for your own channel. And I've set a goal to have a successful YouTube channel, and I plan to do that. This is the beginning, right? So I haven't made a successful one yet, but that is the plan, to do that. And I also, plan to show you as well. So I don't have an outro since this is the beginning. So I'm thinking that since this channel is create by fire, that I kind of would do maybe some kind of fire effect, maybe a sound like obviously with maybe something other than my voice and my hand, but I'll go with that for now. So I'll see you next time on Create by Fire.